The three key words for those creatures actually were for me to be like impressive, scary, but also very elegant. Actually, the message is the thing that Roland had the most clear idea about. He was really looking for a creature which is very dirty, slappy, scary the first time you see it, and then once you get into it, appeared to be a very nice creature. So that's where it started. The first concept was based on a regular horse, and Roland checked it out, looked at it, and thought the horse was way too small for that huge creature, so we switched it to the Clydesdale.
This is a really made-to-order movie on a big scale. We invented a society of basically slaves, a slave society that lives on what this god and these godlike creatures give them. And so we were rather limited in our colors and our resources on what would be available on this planet also. So we had to take a lot of things into consideration before we started to design for them. I also had to take into consideration how long it would take them to get dressed in the morning with our crew, and so I tried to make a lot of it as simple as possible, while at the same time not looking like anything we've seen before, but being familiar in some respects. I think Techno-Egypt is a great way to describe hopefully what we did with the children and with Ra and Anubis and all that. It's a great word for it. I never heard that before. We should have used it a long time ago. Every single thing, every single bead, every single scarab, every single ornament throughout, most of it was designed to just take it off, to make it look Egyptian but not.
With these graphics, we want to create the most elegant science fiction movie. We have built an alphabet called the Stargate Alphabet that includes these signs, these hieroglyphs, these phrases, and these motifs. This is the ANA router. It's one of those rare machines, 9 in the world. This machine can produce the job of 100 men in one day. This panel is ready for vacuum forming. As you can see, it has holes all over in all the intersections and corners. We have 1,500 walls to make.
It's a one-on-one fight between our hero and Ra's sort of ace henchman is a guard called Anubis, who starts off as a guard with a jackal's head. Kurt Russell has to battle him. So it's quite an old-fashioned, the kind of battle that John Wayne would have been doing had he been making movies now.
This is called the Sarcophagus. This is it's based on an Egyptian burial tomb, burial coffin really. But this has a special ability to rejuvenate people. If somebody gets killed in the palace, they put them in here and they can be brought back to life. I'm glad you realize there's something different, because although they have that influence, they're all created especially for this movie, not for any particular significance each one, but so that it's not Egyptian. People say, like you did, there's something very strange about this. It's not Egyptian. You see, there is no relationship to Egyptian work there. These are all innovative shapes which we evolved, which give you the feeling that it's Egyptian, but it isn't. It's something entirely different. What is it? So we say, well, it's something which we can't say what it is. It just happened that this looked right in the concept of this picture.
You got to keep in mind that we're not doing digital effects on this film to look like digital effects. Roland's strictly against anything that looks science fiction-y or very inorganic yet cool. So we've been forced into a whole kind of situation that's caused us to be creative in a way that better blend in, or we're in big trouble. So, like, one of the things that we're doing in that vein is the morphs. So we're morphing these helmeted creatures into human beings, and we're doing it in such a way that it's not an organic situation, but it looks like a mechamorph, a mechanical morph. So the goal there is if we do it right, people will go, who built those helmets? They're really cool the way they work. On the other end of the spectrum, we're doing the Stargate Effect, which is based on totally organic stuff. It's going to be the premier effect in this whole show, because that's the name of the movie, Stargate. And then the rest of the stuff that's supposedly transparent and seamless are crowd manipulation, scene manipulation, which would have traditionally been done with matte paintings and stuff like that. But we're doing like adding pyramids into shots, and we're multiplying the crowds out so that instead of 800 or 1,200 extras, they're going to have 40,000 extras. Ra, being the ultimate god as far as these human beings know, is... God, I love it when he says it. Let me try a different thing here. So, I guess you'd need to know a little of the story, right? So Ra's this kid from Earth who got taken, or went and joined the aliens, who ended up enslaving everybody. So Ra's way of keeping his power over these people is by using advanced technology, which, as Arthur C. Clarke has so rightfully pointed out, any advanced technology to native types is the same thing as magic. Perhaps the best example of this whole thing is the medallion effect. The medallion is the elevator. We started out, it was very cool. It had a laser curtain of light that whipped around in a circle. And within this curtain of light, it was filled with hieroglyphics. And this curtain of light refracted the imagery. So it was invisible. It was a force shield, but it was tied into the design of the whole movie. What we've ended up with, and rightfully so, to hang with the concept, is we've gone back to basically the 1920 elevator concept of a cage forming around the device. And then we kept the meniscus, but the way we've developed the cage is you'll never see the meniscus. So it just ends up as, could be a lit platform that rises up and down. The point being is, the movie's not about the medallion. The medallion is just a way to get from A to B. It's not about the story. Being an effects guy, we want to make it about that thing. So we're pulled back, and now we have more time to focus on the things that we can do that are part of the story, like the Stargate Effect. He understands when to put a lid on it. Like with the medallions, he really clamped down and said, I don't want whoosh and boom and stuff. It's not a big story point. Let's go from A to B. We'll make it neat, but it's not what this movie's about. Most people will let you go until they understand it, which is usually too far down the road before they go, no, this is wrong. So Roland's really good in that he can see something and he can make the jump across the imaginary bounds of imagination and go, no. Or, yes, this is exactly right. When he gets enthused about something, it's wonderful. One of the things Roland wants to do on this film is he wants it to be spectacle. He wants it to be big. He wants it to be like a Cecil B. DeMille film with thousands and thousands and thousands of extras and really huge sets. And he's accomplishing that through the use of digital.